Hey, this is Max Alper, aka Parrotsky, and you are listening to Group Critique Fight Club. Yeah. You know what time it is? Judging by the music, a very ominous time. Oh man. John Chowning, the inventor of digital FM synthesis, with his colossal 1977 piece, Stria, which, if you listen for it, you can actually hear the origins of the DX7 on, a glacial display in that piece, and of that late 70s, early digital FM era. John Chowning very famously developed the first digital FM synthesis software and then promptly sold it to Yamaha, and they turned that into the DX7. John Chowning might be the most, I don't want to say wealthiest, but successful businessman in avant-garde electroacoustic music. Specifically because of his innovations and pioneering of FM synthesis at Stanford, I believe, either that or UC Berkeley. But Chowning, obviously, super tenured PhD computer science / music composition wizard. How they don't make them like they used to anymore. But yeah, then he made a killing with Yamaha, and he still has some equivalent of tenure at Yamaha Musical Instruments Division. He probably gets to go to Japan whenever he wants. Pretty cool, We can't all have it that good. You just gotta... Yeah, Yamaha money in the 70s, the equivalent of Blue Apron money. No, it's that NordVPN. Like, comment, and subscribe. That's what John Chowning always said. Yes, welcome. Group Critique Fight Club. Monday, April 13th. We are back after a week off. I know I owe you a monthly project. It's going to be for April through May. Mid-April through mid-May will be your next project. We will have it. It will be announced by next week. Yeah, it's that Raid Shadow Legends money. Exactly. Name them off. Name them all off, and they're all somehow owned by the IDF. At least the VPNs are. We're back. We're listening to your tunes. Hope everybody is doing well. If you haven't signed up for it, we got our Concrete and Foley Arts and Sampling Composition course starting on Wednesday this week. Wednesday the 15th. Goes for 3 weeks. Wednesday the 15th, 22nd, and 29th. Still a couple spots left. Posted about that on the Patreon. You'll find it there. Don't know what else to tell you at this point. But we got a lot of folks signed up for it. So I don't want it to be too packed, so that we can get our individual attentions in when we have the group critique portion of that class. But still, got a couple left, so let me know if you want to do it. What else? What else is going on? We just announced the massive cistern concert taking place in the Poughkeepsie Cistern, out where I live here in Poughkeepsie, New York, in the Hudson Valley. Let me pull up this. We'll pull up this website. Y'all can see, if you haven't already, the Poughkeepsie Cistern. Buried just below College Hill, Poughkeepsie lies an infrastructural wonder. The underground cistern that provided drinking water to the city for the last century is now empty yet full of potential. And potential it has. Specifically, acoustic potential. It's the largest of its kind on the east coast of the United States. Second or third largest in the country, the first being Fort Worden Cistern out in Washington State, where Pauline Oliveros coined the term deep listening. And here's Squarespace. Oh, this is a Squarespace website. But let me see if I could find the impulse response recording they took. Yeah, I mean, there's some really cool ass history to it that is fantastic. Ah, yes, here we go. Here were the acousticians doing a test. It says up to 14 seconds, but I think longer. I know better. Anyways, it's fucking sick. We're doing a open house on May 9th out here. I don't often say like once in a lifetime experience when it comes to concerts, but this is certainly a once in a lifetime sort of space. And I can tell you with experience that experiencing a reverb like this in person is it's a truly exhilarating experience for those of you that are freaks like me. So if you're in the New York State tri-state area or New England, maybe take a trip on May 9th. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of artists involved. Raven Chacon of Group Critique Fight Club, monthly project alumni. We got Raven Chacon. We got Leah Bertucci, Chris Williams, the trumpet player, Booker Stardrum, the percussionist, Michael Bahari, the guitarist. I'm going to do something. We got Man Bartlett, who does a lot of singing bowls and synthesis stuff on the dronier end of things. It's going to be... We're going to activate the hell out of that space. So all my Northeasterners, consider coming through. Be nice to see you there. All right. Let us get to the music for today. We have some stuff from last month that we didn't get to, so I want to put that at the top of this list. See how much we can get to this week. Starting with Kema, who submitted at the very end of the last Fight Club and we weren't able to get to because of time, so they're at the front of the list this time. They got us a track here called track number 2. Simple as that. Let's go ahead and listen. with such patience building up and then no ending. Come on. Where's our ending? Where's our ending? It's real easy to start a song. It's pretty difficult to end one. Returning trope of Group Critique Fight Club. Anyways, give it up. Give it up for Kema with track number 2. I mean, that was great. I was waiting for the second part to begin. You know, you had played us a track a couple weeks ago, and you were talking about how inspired you were by Kelman Duran and, you know, this sort of deconstructed long form compositions that can include as much patience and atmosphere as you want before leading off into some much larger rhythm section. And you absolutely did that here, you know, and I mean, it seems like it was cut off short. Seems like you might have just done that for the sake of time. I don't know, or if this is going to lead into the next track, like an A and a B, or since this is track 2, does this lead directly into track 3? Curious as to where this goes, you know, because right now we have a very patient beginning, and then it completely dissipates, and then we just lead in to the second section, very much, you know, long form piece with multiple movements involved. But that second movement's got to end. We need a resolution to that, you know. We're not doing it justice as it stands right now, you know. I was waiting for the Latin, for the Kelman influence to come in on the rhythm section too. I mean, it felt like we were leading somewhere. I think if you're cutting it off just for 5 minutes for the sake of presenting for today, that's one thing. But would love to hear the full version of it if there's a longer version of this. And let us know next time if that's the case, because we could skip around or maybe, you know, get the first couple minutes here and then the last 3 minutes or something like that, just so we have a bit more synopsis, overall concept of the trajectory of the piece, you know? Because this is lovely stuff. You've proven yourself to be not interested in, like, the tropes these days of just, like, leading off with a hook, you know? Just, like, revealing your hand in the first 10 seconds for the sake of engagement, you know? Fucking streaming platforms forcing us to get rid of bridges and start with the hook so that we can maintain a listener for at least 30 seconds so the track is monetized, you know? You are rejecting that, and I'm a big fan of that. You know, take as much time as you need. This is only 5 minutes right now. We could have spent more time in the first section. You know, this is not, if we're throwing out the rule book as far as like duration and sort of pop centrism when it comes to song structure and things like that, then the world is your oyster. There are no rules here. So as long as you create a cohesive and deliberate arc compositionally here right now, which the end of this does not feel deliberate. Like we do need resolution in the very least there. It ain't the easiest thing, like I said, but it's very important. You got to think about those sticking around for the whole time. But yeah, I am curious what your plan is with that, or if there's already a new version or whatever. This is good stuff. I think that the time spent in the first half, sort of this world, this more ambient, drone, spacious. I don't know how mixed it is right now. To me, it felt a little too in the box, a little too clean. I mean, it works for its cinematic sake, you know. If we're making like a speculative score, very much sort of sci-fi world you're building here. But if we're referencing people like Kelman Duran and even further back than that, like Burial, as someone who, you know, really pioneered in a pop-centric way the long-form electronic composition, they are Their both of their work is covered in grime, and I don't mean the genre. I mean like dirt. Dirty this up. It could very much inform the sound design process when you are running this through saturation, when you are running this through some sort of reamp, when you are making it emulate like a tiny speaker, or maybe literally reamping it through a tiny speaker and recording some of the sound design elements that way. Find a way to expand outside of the MIDI virtual instrument ambient patch sound. You don't need hardware to do that. You just need to kind of like think analogous to like an analog hardware setup. Like, how would I use outboard gear to create more coloration and saturation of my tone? You know what I mean? Yeah. Dirty it up. I know it's not finished. Finish it. Keep going. Good shit. Thank you, Kema. All right. We got Jose, who wrote to us a few weeks ago. So their caption is slightly older. Update on a song from 2 Mondays ago. At this point, like 4 or 5 Mondays ago. Adjusted some levels. Panned, added some saturation on the bass and percussion. Hall, reverb on everything else. Finished with a healthy amount of compression and tape warmth. Porvenir, version 2, Jose. All right, getting there. Getting there. This plays on Late Night Quiet Storm radio show on Lego Island. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, there's no escaping from some sort of game reference point just through the usage of such classic sort of rudimentary FM patches on everything, and the usage of synthesized drums with white noise generators and things like that. It's playful in that way. It ain't a bad thing, but it's hard not to have some chiptune association by this, which is why I think I said this last time too, is we need, this could be a foundation for something melodic that's still not there. I think I talked about it last time, like what could be like an outrageous lead instrument in something like this to completely counter the synthesized or the world of synthesis that we're in for the majority of the instrumentation here. I mean, I think I said a sax solo, and I stand by it. Maybe it could be some sort of like some sort of Juno synth on like a reeds, some heavy portamento sort of setting, synthesized setting, but sort of like a DX7 would be great for this, but I think that like we need something here to tie this all in, because even this it's melodic, but it feels like a counterpoint to a melody that isn't there yet. You know what I mean? Like do ba 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 ba, and the lead goes like ba da da ba ba da 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 ba da. It's like we need something legato. We need something sustained that could really play the part of our lead. These little plucks. They're accompanying something that isn't there yet. The leads have to have some sustain. They have to have more expression than just plucks. We could get Shamyer to sing on this. Exactly. These are the GCFC collabs. What I'm talking about here. And then cloak this in tape emulator. Cloak this in gated reverb. Put this in both like a VHS simulator and like one of those Alesis classic digital gated reverb racks from the 80s. You know what I mean? Like bring us there both through like the expression of some sort of lead instrument here, as well as the way that it's mixed. Like we can lay into the nostalgia bit. It's okay. David Sylvain on this. All right. I mean, hey, to each their own. We just need a lead instrument here. We don't have that yet. I know this has been a work in progress so far, but like it's dare I say, we're making pop music. We should start with melody writing. I'm spoiled because I'm a piano player by training, so like my right hand is thinking melodically if I'm not humming it out myself, and my left hand is thinking harmonically as far as chords and bass and things like that. We gotta try to at least be even-handed when we're writing from the jump, in that like we shouldn't neglect melody to the very end. It should be a part of the process from the jump. You know what I'm saying? We still don't have it here yet. We gotta think melodically now. Let's pull back a bit from the production side and really just think like, what is a monophonic instrument and a line that could work for this monophonic instrument to create some sort of tangible earworm, some sort of pattern that is expressive beyond the accompaniment and the pitched percussion of the plucks. You know what I'm saying? Give us that. Dying for it. We need it. Shout outs to Jose. Keep working at it, dog. Let's keep going. Okay. Thank you, Jose. All right, we got Kuku. I think Kuku's here. Yeah, they're here in the chat. They write to us. This is for a club EP I'm working on. I want it to be minimalist and heavy hitting. Looking for suggestions on how to arrange it into a finished piece. Maybe add something? Question mark? We'll soon find out. Balan's bout. Balan's bout 2. Let's go. Oh yeah. Again, no fucking ending. Come on now. Come on, give us the ending here. And yes, I'm agreeing with Breathplay here. I don't think this needs any new elements, just build up and breakdown. Yes, this is a matter of dynamics and of arrangement. I mean, look, if you want to go for brutalist here, that's absolutely fine. Like, we can be a box with edges and no distinction on each wall. We can be truly just a industrial image here. I think that's totally fine. But like, we need to find a way to, in the very least, like, lead towards these elements. We just got thrown right into it here, and I think that's fine for the first minute or so. But we need to find a way to, either with an effect, some sort of change in, could be delay, could be some change in filter or saturation, finding a way to shift the timbre slightly, you know? They say you could be extra brutal and just have 5-second fade in and out. Yeah, I mean, like, that's fine. You could just lead us in and then lead us out and leave it like that. you know? But I think we need to think about this deliberately about form. Like, what is the arc of the piece? Are we looking at just on, off? Like, if that's the case, so be it. Go even harder in your mix, you know? Like, saturate further, as if you are playing this off of a live mixer, you know what I mean? Like, add more on the EQ, you know? Find ways to shape this timbrally to an even more brutal extent. If you're looking for a bit more nuance to that, then yeah, we should have things slightly more gently coming in, and then, you know, utilize drops, utilize ways to break us out of the brutalism momentarily before dropping us back in, you know? Not overthinking this here and not overproducing this. Like, we don't need more. This is funky as hell, you know? It's giving me Pearson sound vibes. Like, it's giving me Hessel audio, but on some like nearly like Miami bass level of funkiness, a little less of that post dubstep UK sound. This feeling way more East Coast club, you know, way more Miami, way more you know, Baltimore and Philly sort of sound going on here. You're not doing full on Be More and Philly club patterns here, but it's that you know what it is? It's kind of like ghetto tech, you know, it's even like Chicago, you know? It's super fucking funky. But we gotta be like composerly here. We gotta be deliberate in our form. Like, what is the shape of the piece here? I think it's perfectly fine to just throw us in, but like double down on the brutalism then, you know? We could still have some change here. You're not going for like pure minimal here. Like, there are already changes occurring, you know? This is really wonderful stuff. You wrote, "This sounds like less work than I thought then. Amazing." Yes, exactly. It doesn't need a lot of work. It's really just like, how are we've already done the carpentry, and now how do we sand it? You know, what type of varnish are we putting on this? That's the way to think about this. We've done really good work with our carpentry. We've made the hell out of that chair. We built some furniture here. Now let's find a way to just refine it to like our final aesthetic, you know? Changing patterns too. I mean, like, you could, you know what, in that case, if you want to change patterns, be subtractive. Be even more minimal, more spacious. You know what I mean? Go for more of a more linear drum, a more meter of nowness sort of sound, you know? Like, you're already sort of giving us, you know, offbeat rhythms here, or, you know, syncopations going on here. We could go for even less, you know? We have some hi-hat going, you know, we can cut back on other elements too. That might be interesting, you know, is work with the patterns that you got, but subtract elements from it, like with each bar, you know? Don't just make it a set of loops, but you could actually be like subtractive and additive per bar, and, you know, change it up every measure if you want, you know? It's good fucking stuff. Who's Jake Kingdead? Oh no, what's the YouTube issue? Am I laggy? Am I coming in shitty? What's going on? Oh no. I hope the YouTube's working. It says it's working on my end. Yeah, work with the mixer. Work with the mixer live. Absolutely. And use filtering, you know what I mean? Like, you could work this like literally like double deck. Jake King's chat's not appearing on a browser for some reason. No, it's not. I can't see him. That's so weird. Oh, is it because I'm in top? Oh, this is top chat. What do I do live chat? Am I missing shit? That would be so annoying that it just does that. There's Jake. Oh, anyone know why my chats aren't going through the stream? I'm sorry, Jake. I'm sorry. My bad. Now we gotta go through. Now we gotta go through all of Jake's previous comments. That's my bad, Jake. I had it on the wrong setting here. I don't know what the fuck top chat is. It's prioritizing Breathplay and Kuku. Fucking YouTubes. Oh well. Yeah. It's shitification strikes again. I don't know what this has to do with shit. Anyways. Give us some changes. Give us some changes, Kuku. Make a deliberate choice in your form. You have the raw materials. How are we going to... You've created your chair. How are you going to sand and varnish it? You know what I mean? Subtractive. Working creatively, live with your hands, with the mix, you know? Think about it. And then give us an ending. Endings are important. Endings are very important. But I'm a fan of this. I'm a big fan of this. Hell yeah. Good shit from Kuku. All right, what do we got? What do we got? We got Breathplay up next. They write to us. The audio I'm using on both CDJ decks is an excerpt from Steven Soderbergh's Out of Sight in 1998. For now, I'd mostly like thoughts on the concept of dubbing a movie in my choice of audio source. As far as execution goes, I think I'd like to attempt some more takes to develop a more nuanced dialogue with this clip. All right. It's called I Need to Be One Person at a Time. Interesting concept. I'm looking forward to this.
Oh, I see. You guys are cynical. Right.
Here it comes.
Keep on walking. Keep walking. I won't be answering any questions. Just saying she wasn't scared, that's all.
And that's because you had a hand on a gun the whole time waiting to make a move.
She was just jealous that it was me in this room, whether or not you.
You're right.
The first thing I'm gonna do is get this mud off me.
What'd I say?
All right. I think this is a great idea. This is great. Is the music in this also sourced from the score of that film? Like, is this everything is coming from the film itself as source material here? Or is the music separately sourced from the dialogue and Foley sounds and general environmental noise. If it's the former, I think it's a really wonderful idea. It felt like it was all coming from the same film. Yes, it's straight from the movie, dropping the movie into Audacity. Fantastic. Okay, great. This is great. This is fantastic. This is a wonderful exploration of plunderphonics, right? Where not only are we using it for the sake of DJing rather than like cutting samples in a DAW, but using the performance apparatus of DJ software to play audio ripped straight from a film that includes everything from the dialogue through the score. I think is a really cool experiment here, and it grounds it thematically because some of like the style of acting and what's being said, it matches mood of the the melancholy and the groove and the sort of 90s the 90s feel to the score, you know what I mean, in this sort of noirish way, but it's not like going all fully plunderphonic John Oswald, like I am here to make a like chaotic collage of things, you know. It really has still it remains like in the mood of the source material to some extent. It doesn't feel like it's trying to create a new narrative here. It's in fact like just kind of remixing the original narrative while staying true to it in some regards. I think this is a wonderful experiment that like obviously needs to be continued to build upon with other elements from this movie. Like you said, you're going to do more recordings of this, like use other elements of dialogue and other elements of score to create like a longer form mix from just this film. You know, this is something that has definite legs to it as just a conceptual project. You could dedicate an entire album to remixing a film. You know what I mean? Not that you necessarily have to like put all your cards in sort of one, or put it on one hand, but like it would be a not only like a worthwhile study for the sake of experimentation, but like I think a tribute in some ways, could be a tribute to the film itself, is that we're like doing a live remix project that taps into all sonic elements of this film. You know, it's homage, literal shrine to a film. You know, would you want a linear thing of the whole unbroken movie on the audio, or just want me jumping around? No, I would think jumping around. Like I would want you to curate moments still, not just like play through the movie, but like find more elements that speak to you musically and sonically, and that also like could build upon what you already have here as far as like elements that you've picked. You know what I mean? I think I might mix some of these film remixes for my longer form mixes with other music. Sure. No, I think you should absolutely do that just in general. But like in this realm alone, like there's more to explore as far as like key moments that you can cue for the sake of a live mix, you know? I think it's worth exploring more with this film in particular, but in general, like this is you only have so much time, but like this is like a wonderful grad school project, you know, of deconstructing film audio through a digital DJ software interface, you know, rather than just turning it into tape music, sample-based composition in a DAW. It is still, you're turning the film into an instrument here. It's really cool to think about, because we all know movies that just have like fantastic needle drop moments musically, as well as like powerful moments of dialogue that paired together in the film. That's why they're there, right? But like finding a way to compose around those like powerful moments for the sake of like an experimental dubbed out DJ set. I mean, like, I think it's a really cool thing worth exploring, not just on the groove side of this. You could create so much abstract, interesting collages as well. You know, you can create a compositional arc to this. Tell me about the use of a stabbing scene. Is that too hardcore? I'm kind of sensitive to movie violence, so I can't tell how much it comes across. I couldn't really, I don't know the film, so it didn't come across obviously to me. But yeah, I mean, use your judgment on that. I don't want you to have to put yourself through that if you're not looking to do that, you know. Depends on the story that you're trying to tell, or rather how much of the original story are you trying to convey versus crafting your own, using it as raw material. But this definitely has legs to it. If you're asking just like conceptually, like, is this worth doing a bit further, deeper dive into? I say yes, 100%. Good stuff. Love these ideas, you know, for true cinephiles, for true kino freaks. It's for the heads. Thank you, Breathplay. All right. We are going to listen to a few more today. We're going to listen to two more. We're going to get one in from Shams. We're going to get one from Kingdead. I know Kingdead, you sent us two. We're going to listen to one today and one next time if you're cool with that. But we got Shams. Shams made this in 6 hours today. Fresh off the presses. This is that digital dub plate, y'all. Grapefruit. Sade Islande. Sade Island. Shamyer. Let's go. That's right. Shams is back. Lovely stuff. You've created a lovely palette here. You've created a beautiful salad, and now we need that grilled chicken. We need that lead voice coming back. We need that protein on the salad. You gotta give us that. You gotta give us that classic Shams, man. I want stacked vocals on this. I want falsettos on this. I want like nearly Bee Gees level vocal arrangements on this, because this is just like pure funk, pure new disco, pure Cali, whatever it is that you've been doing, man. I mean, you have a wonderful ear, and it's a the arrangement. You know, I know that it's you worked on this in a day, and there's still a lot of work to be done, and no lead vocals at this point. But like, just like the instincts that you make as far as like when to include things, then when to take them out. You know, you have a good gut feeling when it comes to arrangement, and that's hard to come by. You know, like a lot of people are just like all for the riffs or all for the beats, you know, but I think it shows like strong compositional instinct to be thinking about these things. You know, there's a lot to work with here. It's really, really strong. And I know that the voice is going to tie it all in. But I think that like lay into the cheese a little bit here, you know, give us big sound here, because the one thing dynamically, there are definitely breaks and things happening, but dynamically it kind of all remains here, and that's fine, you know. But like, what is one way that we could like slightly increase intensity would be like how the voice is delivered, you know, like, are you tapping in emotionally right now? And a good way to do that is just to like give us more than one voice, you know. Harmony is a strong tool. 4-part harmony, 5-part harmony. Let's go. You got it in you. I know you do. Come on, Shammy. Let's get it. Good shit. Don't feel the need to do something at 6 hours and crank it out for the sake of Fight Club, though I appreciate it. Give yourself a day. Give yourself a day. See how you feel. All right, we're going to wrap with one today. We're going to wrap with one more. Fresh submissions from Kingdead. First submission for Group Critique Fight Club. Welcome. Got this track called Roum. Roum. Let's get it. No idea what we're in for. All right, off to a good start, yo. I mean, I did not know where we were going. Like in that very first section here, right? Like, let's just pull up that moment where it all deconstructs. We got this going, right? It's just like starting to oversaturate. So we're hearing it happen, and it's all like, oh man, like it's starting to it's I thought it was in like unintentionally starting to clip digitally here, you know? And then, oh no. And then it's just like, oh, you thought, right? For this is a long form piece in 3 minutes and 20 seconds, you know? You're covering so much ground. It's like one of those corrupted YouTube videos where it just starts to glitch and then one video cut like kind of just like phases through the other through the sort of digital artifacts here. It's very analogous to that. Like it's like constantly melting. One side is melting into the next in a sort of linear fashion, right? It's a really interesting concept here. I'm curious, is this the process? You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna play the second track because now I'm curious. They submitted 2 tracks. They're both relatively short. Let's hear the second one from our new friend Kingdead because this is I'm interested. Let's hear 845 as well. All right. So it's the first one, like you said in the chat. You made an overture with the first one, and this one is more of a song. I do like this idea of sort of going between straightforward, productions and then deconstructing them, mutating them. You know, this is only 1minute and 55 seconds, right? Like there is still plenty of room with something like this to turn it into, I don't know if we want to say overture, but like I'm curious your thought process on like the first one specifically as to like what led you towards this sort of rolling the dice sort of approach compositionally here, because it's really, really interesting. I think that like it's not overly jarring to go from the first track to this, right? But I feel like that first one is saying something that isn't complete yet, you know? Yeah, Rooms is a good idea. Exactly. You know, everything's in a different space, you know? Thinking of it more as a conceptual record, that could absolutely work, you know? I think I'm more attracted to the first one conceptually, because I'm a weirdo, you know. But I think that like we have to like find a way to connect these dots. They're not like completely night and day difference right now. I could see your voice peeking through both of these here, you know. But that first one was you know, pulling out a lot of different stops that, you know, were unexpected, and I think there's more to say, you know. But I played relative minors and keys to almost accident. Yeah, I mean, look, like, continue on whatever it was that brought you to the first track, you know, because it doesn't, it shouldn't stand alone, you know. I'm not saying that you should make a whole album of just these overtures, just these sort of mutations and experiments, right? But for it to be on its own like that is not doing justice, you know. More stops to pull out. Exactly. Good shit, man. Welcome. This is awesome, dude. I was very much enjoying that. Curious how you made that too. Seriously, let us know compositionally though. Like what leads you from room 1 to room 2 in that case with that first track, you know? It's something I always think about with like people making intentionally like jarring music where it's like they get you comfortable and then the next bar they flip it, things like that, you know, like something like math rock where it's like, okay, how do you write? We're going to do 2 measures of 3 and then we're going to do 2 measures of 4 and then 1 measure of 5, whatever. Like how I'm saying as just one example of how one might write a math rock or multimeter track. I'm curious how you come up with that sort of melting rooms approach to composition. It's fascinating stuff, unexpected. Happy to hear some weirdness to top us off there. All right, y'all. Fantastic work from everybody. We'll be back next week, next Sunday, and Monday. Sign up for the Patreon, patreon.com/parrotski. You know the deal. Still got time to sign up for our concrete Foley Arts and sample-based composition course starting on Wednesday. And as always, you know I'm open for private instruction. parrotski.xyz. Hit me up. Join the Discord. Shoot me a DM. Say what's up. Hope everybody has a wonderful week. Starting to warm up out there. Wear sunscreen, but enjoy the weather. Stay hydrated, everybody. And I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to another edition of Group Critique Fight Club with me, Max Alper, aka Parrotski. You can sign up for the Patreon at patreon.com/parrotski to get access to our Sunday Zoom school on top of the regular live public stream. Public stream takes place every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. All are welcome. And you are listening to the track Atop Alpdog Mountain, Ja Plays Pokemon Go by me.